Right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, good day, good morrow, good everything. We drop the GMs every day, without fail, despite the wife's disdain at my daily routine, saying hello to everybody and wishing them a pleasant day. We still continue with the memes, the charts, the outlooks, the reviews, and the streams, of course, for you wonderful people. And that would not be possible without the legends at Bluefin, which is where I am trading some BTC and ETH perps, and you can do that in a decentralized manner using the link below. Yes, this is a very blunt shill, but you will get a percentage of their release of blue tokens each epoch. So in the same way that DYDX did, and still do actually, based on volume, they distribute rewards each little, each epoch, which is different timings, I believe, to Bluefin, but you get a proportion of the tokens based on the volume that you do. And personally, I think that this is going to be a good exchange. I am invested in it, hence I am partnered with them as well. And I think that when we get another cycle, that Bluefin will be a name that you hear a lot around the decentralized exchange space. So, getting in early gives you an advantage and gives you more bang for your buck when it comes to being a percentage of the total volume. But yes, that is quite a hard shill from me because I believe in the product and I think it's placed reasonably well for the next cycle. So yeah, I can't wait for them to get more altcoins on board, which are coming in the next couple of months, but they're working with some big market makers and I think it does really, really well. So jump on in and use my ref link, obviously. Son of a bitch, I'm in. What a legend, Bunro. And if you do sign up and you actually trade on there, DM me your wallet address, and whoever's trading decent volumes, I'll just either kick back everything or I'll just give away $1,000 or do something like that, just to incentivize people a little bit. But anyway, that's for you guys to check out. I'm going to start with BTC, and I'm going to kind of jump into things actually, because I gave a massive lecture in my Outlook this week that I did for the group. And I talked about basically Bitcoin's kind of reaction to a semi-pivotal level, like a previous support, and resistance like here, just the interactions with this imaginary line. And my blunt point was that price doesn't react off my meme line, and what actually happened basically to the dollar on this candle close is it was pretty much a perfect short entry, which I did not get. But it's funny the way it works sometimes. So deleting all of that, I mean, my thesis before, if you remember from last week, is I was short from 27 something or other, 27 to 27.3 something. I think it was over here. I don't know where it was. What was it? Yeah, it was up here. 27. Peak of that, I think. And or maybe it was, no, it was over here, wasn't it? Oh god, my concept of time is absolutely terrible. It was over here on a div up here that I held through this, and basically I got absolutely blown out of the water in this candle, which is fine, right? Shit happens. During the last week, I was basically playing a lot of TRB, as I'm sure a lot of people were during this monumental run-up, in particular, because by and large these high beta, highly manipulated, quote-unquote, MM-driven Ponzi's, when you look at it from a spaghetti perspective, just becomes so obvious to trade, and I don't see why you'd want to be trading anything that's like within these imaginary beta bands, right? So you just draw your mind's eye sees it anyway. that most of these coins have relatively low beta compared to Bitcoin, so why trade anything in them when you can start trading, you know, coins outside of it? Particularly, my preference is the strong ones. And yesterday I ended up in a position where I was reasonably unhappy with what I was actually longing, because I was long BCH and BSV, and as you can see, you know, BSV has completely unwound that beta. But short BTC, long altcoins was kind of the play for me last week. Lost that position here, didn't take a short here, to be honest with you. I nipped out for a little bit of lunch yesterday, and I missed this little perfect short on my meme level here. I'm personally not looking to get back on board in a long position just yet, but you know, I am cognizant of the fact that essentially we are reclaiming, we are coming back to this previous area of support here, this interesting area here, and you know, rejecting from such a high time frame pivotal level, despite the fact that, you know, I generally don't care about whether it's to the dollar or not. You know, if you drew it as a high time frame area of interest across here, a rejection of that is not unreasonable. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not obsessed over the precise dollar, but that structurally, if you change it to line view as well and you start looking at excluding all the wicks, etc., it's pretty reasonable to assert that that's an area where we would reject from. And this is still bullish market structure as far as I'm concerned on reasonable time frames, so it's not a terrible area for a long, and I was looking for some clean divergences, which this is not, to take and justify a position. But unfortunately there's just nothing there. You know, the cleanest one there would have been this here, which was that, and again not at an extreme. On the 15 minute, it's not really there in terms of that's a higher low and that's in line with this. So yeah, it's really no signal, no trade for me. I don't want to just blind long a level. And what I'm actually trying to do is look for any coins with high beta. Now, yesterday we saw some really good rotations. And Sunday as well, actually. And I was quite hopeful heading into the week that you might have seen my tweet, that actually the kind of distribution on alts started to look quite good before this, in terms of like this up here. The fact that the vast majority of alts from a beta perspective were outperforming BTC, right? Especially like over here, like pretty much everything is outperforming BTC, and there's very little, and it's mostly things that have had a decent rotation, or dog shit like Ape, which is just going to go straight to zero, although I'll probably teleport after I say that. And you know, they're quite conducive to risk-on markets generally, and when you get that kind of distribution on altcoins, it's really positive for me and my rotational long plays, because they typically play out longer, they play out further, and they dip less. So when you have those conditions, it makes sense to play them as hard as you can, really, in the time that you can afford. And obviously when they are over, everyone wanted to short the top on TRB. We talked about parabolic move before, that classic parabola, and then lower high, and then actually as kind of your confirmation, the lower high, the fact that you failed to break that euphoria. You know, you're similar here, but that is not as clean in terms of a parabolic move. That's literally up only, and even that, you know, a short off the first lower high wouldn't have actually yielded that much. This was my thought process heading into the week, that actually if we broke that series of higher lows, that would be the first trigger for a short trade, you know, meme diagonal and all that. But I mean, it's played out. I didn't take it. I'm not going to hindsight laugh into something I didn't do. But yeah, once the trend is over and once the strength on spaghetti is over for me, that's usually my main confirmation of either it's over or I just shouldn't be longing it. And if you were in my stream last week or the week before, I talked relentlessly about Sui. Relentlessly about it. Convinced that it was going to be the next one on the rotation. And obviously played out to an absolute T. Thank you again. But for me, I always need that starting point of, well, this is what... Sorry, I've explained that terribly. I need that starting point of here is some relative strength, and this is why I want that yellow line, which is Sui, to stand out from the crowd, because I want to see it disconnecting from the rest of the market and not just take another shitty BTC beta trade on what is effectively a lower liquidity version of the same shitcoin, right? If that goes like this, then that is my entry trigger, as well as, my invalidation under here. Mag has subscribed with Prime. They've subscribed for 7 months. Cheers. Charlie ain't no DJ Mag? No. My lord. Can I turn the music down a tad? Yeah, of course I can. Does it sound like I'm raving, does it? Raving and misbehaving. Just turned it up. Is that better? Music too loud. I'm just partying. Do you realise that the music behind divide by 3 your credibility? Cheers. Well, it's not going to be everyone's taste in music, mate, but you do you. The C Coinbase Perpetual Futures got announced. Hope it will be available in the UK. I presume it will not be available in the UK, my friend. Yeah, it's high octane. It's to keep me awake. No, I'm joking. I've actually got some chocolate and a cup of tea. Classic. Yeah, it won't be available to UK. I mean, that's the thing, is like, UK people are fucked. You've got to, just do what you can. You get an institutional account if you can get one. Highly recommend. But it is a ball ache in terms of administrative processes. Yeah, the FCA are dickheads and never let anyone trade futures. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing, is, you're not allowed to trade futures, but you're quite welcome to go and gamble your life savings on the National Lottery, or go and do, I don't know, bet on horses, or some other bullshit, but for some reason crypto is, not allowed to do that. Lose your money in another way, please. Largely, I think, because they can tax those other things, but anyway, that's a rant for another day, right? What chocolate? What is it? It's Galaxy Smooth Milk, £1.25, recommended retail price. Hashtag paid advert, hashtag sponsored, hashtag got 8% of the supply in the pre-sale. Big bar for a big man. No, it's I've been on this weight loss thing and I've been absolutely crushing it, and I said to my wife, like, I need some chocolate, I need some sustenance, because I'm just fucking wasting away. Yeah, UK Defo Folk need to start using dexes, they're shutting down Bybit. Well, the Bluefin link is right below, my friend. You literally walked into that one. Do you have any hope that they will be available in the UK on our... No, I would just prepare for the worst, and if it's not that, then accept the upside. You can put 100k in slot machines, but not a few quid in crypto. Yes, that's the one, Donny. That's the one. No, lose your money in a taxable way, please. Been seeing CFX on your spaghetti slowly grind up. Chart looks like it needs some mean reversion. So, I mean, I'll have a look at it for you, because you said it so nicely, and you actually made a valid point, which is, I like it when people associate some context with something, and they're saying, well, actually, this is what I see when I'm looking at something, and what do you see? Rather than, can you look at this, please? Many thanks. So, I must admit, I've not noticed CFX particularly. But maybe you've added it. Slash. Because I normally colour things that I like, if any of you haven't worked that out already. I mean, for me, double top, easy. Just go on baby pips, double top. Pattern's done on the classic 3-hour chart. I tend to not like fading things, and this is actually quite similar to Solana. Those wicks, horrible, horrible. You know, I would rather play in the direction of the trend than try and short this here, to be honest with you. Your low time frame market structure is kind of still intact. We're kind of aggressively going for those highs from a higher time frame perspective. You know, RSI retesting the 50, pulling back each time and just keeping that decent market structure. It's actually been in a pretty strong uptrend really since the start of December. Broken out of this range, you know, structurally it looks quite good. I don't like fading that. That was a bit more of an aggressive move to the upside than potentially, but no. I'd prefer upside continuation on that one in terms of my personal bias. What you thinking? Dark chocolate, bruv? No. Pulls on 0x0, Charlie. Seems viable with the current restrictions. Don't know. Smoking what you're rolling. Was referring to daily grind up and maybe some expansion. Yeah. Was smoking what you're rolling. That expression. Yeah, exactly. Like, we are breaking out of this range. It's not like the biggest range in the world. So it's not kind of comparable to things like Link or Rune. Rune's actually a really good example of it, which we'll come on to. But you know, it's a pretty strong uptrend, and the pullback is minimal. So I wouldn't be looking to just jump on and fade it, but equally, getting a fair bit of delta at the highs, and yeah, I would be playing for a long side rotation, i.e. looking for something like this as an entry, stop under here, but gradually scaling in if I saw some low time frame relative strength on CFX. Be my kind of thought process on it. But it is harder to take positions basically expecting it to break out of these previous highs. Especially if there is no relative strength, which I really say to be on here. It's okay. One of the better performers for sure. Good morning, good night. 0 this week. Unknown user 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 0 1 2 1. Oh, that one at the end. Oh. What's that? What's that? Oh, that triggers my OCD. No, I don't think 0 this week. I mean, I think there's a lot of signs that are not great. So, dollar. I posted this earlier. Anyone paying attention to Twitter, you know, genuinely, you post that like back here, and you say, look, range reclaim. What we doing this altcoin? And it's like, we're logging it. Greatest deviation of all time. And then you say it's the dollar, and they go, oh no, something's going to happen. And it's just going to do this, and it's going to carry on dying off. And it's just funny watching people's like bias change with the asset when you say what the asset actually is. I mean, that is an up only parabolic move. It's not even parabolic, really, not yet. You know, it's just literally they are two-upping the dollar. It's straight up. That's obviously a meme, but dollar up, risk on down. October, isn't it? Yeah, it's October, but for dollar and for risk off. But no, I mean, it's completely undeniable that dollar up, Nasdaq has had a pretty brutal day. S&P as well, the SPX getting absolutely hammered. Like it's not great out there, and from a general, we'll load this one. Slow. You know, it's just been pretty brutal generally, and there's been quite a bit of beta between TardFi and BTC today particularly. Beneath BTC, this is the one that gets me at the moment, which is I've kind of had this. We've been in a downtrending market for a while in terms of ETH BTC and that relative strength. And, you know, these tend to pan out one of two ways, a reclaim and a strong move up, or just absolute, you know, carnage move down. And that's a classic. Great, Charlie, thanks for that. It can go up or down. Absolutely wonderful. I suppose my point isn't that it can go up or down. My point is that when it moves, it is probably going to be a fairly explosive move to either side. So if you are, you know, thinking I'm going to just hold a balls deep long position like this, you will and it goes down, you will probably get fucked on it quite quickly. And equally on the long side, you know, if you are longing, on the short side, if you are shorting it and it goes up, you will get fucked quite quickly. So these tend to be quite explosive moves, something like that, or like this. I would, maybe part of it is just me hoping for some volatility, but it is a meme wedge, but you see it time and time again on all sorts of different time frames. And if you were inverting this, so something I like to do, or something that I encourage people to do, is just invert charts to really, really sort of challenge your bias. If you were seeing like these consistent higher lows, it would be quite easy for you to make a bullish case. And say that actually, if I had to bet, this wedge would probably break up, which obviously we've inverted and is down. So it's, when you look at it like that, it would suggest that combining it with things like the dollar, combining it with things like BTC are not looking looking reasonably comfy, but equally just reject our fear and die. I think ETH BTC is in for a pretty violent move. And at some point imminently, I should say. So I think, within the next month, probably within October, we get that big move on ETH BTC. The big thing for me that challenged that assumption was the risk on environment around altcoins around here. And like I said, I started the week thinking that it would be much better than it's been so far, but we are only 2 days into it, and constantly on the lookout for new opportunities in terms of what those rotations could be. And really interestingly, I'll just highlight it because I was long both of these yesterday. There's a constant trade that I will just say because you've probably seen it already, and it relates to these two coins. We had it way back in... here, right? Where we essentially had that kind of first move on Bitcoin in June that was quite strong. So this move here, and what we saw was that BCH proxy play absolutely ripped a new one. So we are seeing rotational plays when Bitcoin comes into strength on BCH and BSV, and both of them seem to be a pretty good beta. This particular rotation, BSV was better, and it's like harder to trade because it's illiquid, particularly on Bybit. But looking out for BCH and BSV strength when you've got a strong Bitcoin move, whether that's like a range break or whether it's a just a classic breakout trade, then I like longing either both BTC and one or both of those coins because they tend to follow that move the best, whereas stuff like TRB, when it's in play, even though it's a strong altcoin, when Bitcoin moves, it tends to take the limelight. I'm not sure I fully explained that to the best of my ability, but short version is Bitcoin pumps, look at BSV and BCH, and probably monitor the in-play coin that you have been trading, such as TRB, and either drop a position in it if you're in it and you're seeing the relative strength die, you know, which is why I really like this kind of view, because you can see like BCH is flying, you know, or not as the case may be, but you could see that BCH is doing this while TRB is potentially doing that, right? And if you've got that low time frame view and you can see that that's happening right in front of your eyes, it's very easy to just assert what is the strong position to be in. And should you rotate? Obviously, I try and plan all of these up front, right? What I want to do is say if BTC starts moving, I can long BCH or BSV, and I will base that decision based off what Spaghetti is telling me. So it's a systematic approach, but it's kind of a planned systematic approach on the basis of some pre-thought out logic. Good evening, Richard Hurst one. How are you, my friend? The dollar sentiment was awful at 99, and now I keep hearing about the dollar. After its non-stop rally, probably a lesson in that. Yes. Ali, please could you take a look at Roblox stock? On the weekly, it looks like a range low reclaim to me. Let's go. I have not looked at stonks in a long time. It's not really enough of a deviation for me, to be honest. But I mean, my daughter plays Roblox, so... I kind of see what you're saying. But, for me, a deviation would be like, this is the low here. I'll do it a little bit better than that, apologies. It's poor. This is the move, and then that's the reclaim. Because you'd want to sweep this low, ideally. Say that we've taken all these stops here, we've shown some strength, and now we've reclaimed, and that's where you get along with the stop under there. And then as you move up, you bring that stop up, and you just ride it up, hopefully, to range highs. Obviously, I don't know anything about this stonk from a cash flow perspective or anything like that. But yeah, that's what I'd be looking for, just with a basic range reclaim type play. Line chart looks more clear. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, true. The only reason I like the candles is because it gives you that to go after. But yeah, I suppose you're right. From a close perspective. And I guess that's where you go, do you care about wicks? And there's a huge debate about whether you care about wicks, right? And you can choose to care about them, or you can choose to not care about them. If you don't care about wicks, I suggest you trade with the line chart. Personally, I think it's right to care about wicks because that's where an asset traded at some point in time. But it's my personal belief. Check RRB. I'm getting shilled everything today. See closed low and lows and lack of follow through. The downside? Yeah, it's a fair point. It's nice that you're actually sharing your views, and instead of going, I'm just going to long this is what I'm going to do. Let's actually peep into lower time frame. Yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying, but I think this goes lower, personally. The reason I say that is essentially, this is why I don't like trading stocks, because I don't have like a beta view of the market, and I love the beta view of the market because it tells me unequivocally what I should be kind of looking at. Geometric shapes, let's go there. You know, this here, we've just rejected from that previous like range high. I just think it pulls back. I think if you get a consolidation here, great. That's probably a long. If not, then you're looking for that larger sell-off down to like the 20-ish level. And it's kind of just that downtrend continuation until it's not. No divergences or anything to really. It says that's a divergence. That doesn't look like a div. Oh, maybe it is. Looks like it's gone far too far. But I guess structurally it is. It's just that wick makes it look a bit odd. All right. Indicator 1, Charlie 0. Fine. Good evening, Kaz001. I'm that kind of degen who's shorted sugar, double top. Yeah, I mean, it's hard just to go like double top, price action, done. Like, if you've got the confluence of momentum in your favor, and if you're actually seeing, you know, RSI consolidate around the 50, which, you know, basically that downside move's momentum is going, so it's going to be interesting to see what it does here. If it does like literally a small up move, resets that RSI a little bit, and then starts coming back down, I would not be too surprised because we've just kind of crossed over on the AO. That's my doodler. This in terms of momentum, but we'll see. Yeah, personally, I'd want to see that. But I completely get your thought process. And there's no right or wrong, right? But there's the market's going to go up or down at some point. But how you choose to play that is entirely up to you. It's interesting though because yeah, Roblox is a game that my daughter plays, so I didn't realise I could profit off that. So maybe I can buy a load of stuff and pump it for you guys. What other stuff we got down here? We got all sorts. Quantum. Okay. Right, where are we going to next? BCH and BSV. Absolutely brutal. Absolutely brutal. You know, both of these, I think we've done the lecture probably around beta and how it's not lasting, and how that's actually quite a bad sign for the market. I did post yesterday that I can tell the market's shit because BSV is the best performing altcoin. I rode it up for a few percent, but I basically got stopped this morning, like straight after I posted it. Basically, as is classic. If you post a P&L chart, then it's basically time to close. What's my opinion about the stables chart? 3-day bull div? Oh, maybe. Yeah, if you got something like that, that's great. And what's your opinion about the stables chart? So my opinion about the stables chart is the same as it's been for a long time. It's pretty much, you know, down only. And until I see any form of, you know, simple move up and some form of, you know, new money coming in, it's very difficult to think, oh look, there's going to be a huge bull run out of thin air. You know, it's very different when there's large deposits coming into crypto, but you don't need any form of intelligence really to stick any form of EMA on this and just say it's fucked. It's pointing down. It's pointing down at a 45-degree angle, and it hasn't budged from that since whatever, well over a year ago. And anyone telling you differently is probably just coping. Yeah, see you later, Sullivan Heggers. Yeah, hope they let us trade perps. That's kind of my view on that. For those people who don't know what this is the total market cap of USDT, USDC, and BUSD. So 3 of the main stable coins in crypto. And it's just been down only for a long period of time. And you know, in theory, every dollar in this is a dollar that someone has exchanged for like a USDT token or a USDC token and so on and so forth. But I'm not going to debate the validity of that. But that's what this chart broadly represents. Now I could still sell you a Bitcoin OTC for $500,000, and in theory that's money entering the quote-unquote market. But yeah, we digress from that point of the conversation. But hopefully that answers your question. And it's similar when we're talking about like total crypto market, even though this is like an old chart in terms of the constituent parts of it, right? Like law of diminishing returns, you're looking from the COVID lows, like a 26x. Even if we, printed the bottom with essentially the FTX news and we rode it back to all-time highs, that's really only a 3x. It's not too exciting. But it obviously takes a lot more money to move the market from over $1 trillion to $3 trillion than it did from, that's not true at all, but than like that, 100 billion to 725 billion. And it's kind of wrong what I just said, because it doesn't actually matter about the amount of money to one extent, because if I want to sell one Bitcoin and the price of Bitcoin is the last traded price of Bitcoin, if everyone else stepped aside and there were 0 sellers, we could do one transaction for $500,000 for one Bitcoin, and that would be the last traded market price of it. So that's always a kind of theoretical number of, if you have equal amounts of sellers as you did at this point, it's going to take more money to push it up further in the next cycle, because the dollar amount is higher. So instead of pushing a $3,000 Bitcoin to $20,000, you're pushing 20,000 to equivalent, which is actually much larger in terms of dollar amount required. But anyway, that's a bit boring. And it's me going full autist as well. So let's go back to some charts. We talked about Link actually, didn't we? Before. Oh, we did, yes, because of these divs. And I'm pretty sure I said I hate trading Link, and it's they were actually beautiful divergences, and they played out pretty nicely, even though probably would have cut either on this move or when it essentially came back to entry. Yeah, has anyone been trading Stinky Linky? I'm going to take this off. I think it was a pretty nice short opportunity, to be honest, like a very simple range play. But it's easy to say that in hindsight, right? I think for me, the biggest surprise was this alert I had on Pepe, and wanting to get in on Pepe, and the little run that we had on the Joyous Pepe, and the fact that once again we've just completely sold off on a high risk low cap. It's not low cap anymore, but that high risk beta play on BTC. And this is what always makes me really nervous. If we can't sustain rallies on like the high risk assets, then these are just continual confirmations that we are in, or we were in, an uptrend, a temporary uptrend in a bear market. So when I see people on Twitter post this is a bull market, I die a little bit inside, because I just do not think that this is a bull market. I think we have bull markets which are like super easy, everything is pumping, and I've seen 2 of them, and I'm sure I'll see a third at some point, or at least if you know what you're doing, it's usually something like that in a part of crypto at most points in time, right? Whether it's Unibot cycles, whether it's Pepe, whether it's, I don't know, all sorts of stuff has pumped. Rollbit, which someone did request and we will go back to. I think there's, you know, extreme bull, there's bullish conditions in specific sectors, there's not really much and ranging environments, and then there's downtrend, and then there's pain like FTX dumps or liquidations, right? So there's kind of 5 tiers, and there is no way we are in this top tier, which I would call a bull market. Fucking zero chance. Zero. This right now is nowhere near that. Even you look at like total market cap, right? Even that, if you want some form of proxy to tell you that people using that term are fucking idiots, done. Right? That's not a bull market, is it? That's just fucking range. That's not in an uptrend, is it? No, not at all. Now, can you argue that we are in secular bull markets for specific items or specific items? What's wrong with me? Specific areas of crypto. Yeah, we've definitely had really nice rotations. You know, GambleFi, we've had Friendtech, we've had trading bots. So definitely, yeah, and we do get some uptrends in either a ranging or a kind of downtrending environment. So look at, you know, things like Matic, which have been basically down only for a while. So yeah, I still get mildly irritated when people are like, this is bull market conditions. Like, personally, I don't think it is. What's your guys' views? Haven't touched it, Mr. Short. Yeah, same. Any gaming projects you like? Oh, that's a good question. I think there's a real dichotomy and split between gaming projects and crypto, because a lot of gaming projects have that ability for people to buy skins. For example, Magus has just spent a fucking ton of money on CS skins, and he keeps telling me that I'm poor because he's got like an inventory that's probably worth more than my trading portfolio. You know, he's just buying up all the skins at the moment as quote unquote investments. But yeah, it's quite a difficult one because there's a lot that exists already in terms of marketplace, and crypto as a functional use case for that just doesn't make too much sense. But there are some games that have done it really kind of well, I think, in the past. Like Wilder World was one that I think was really good. I rode that project for multiples. It's probably doing dog shit now. Yeah, there you go. You can see even still got it on here. Look at that. Absolutely gone. I know friends of mine like SC are into like PYR and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. I think there's definitely, and I will say definitely, there's definitely going to be a game at some point that has a bananas run, and would it be called Banana Run or something like that, copyright, etc. And it will probably be just absolutely mad, where they integrate crypto really well, and they integrate play to earn, etc. really well. And I think if they can do that, and they can do a game that is genuinely fun to play, and people want to play it for playing the game, not for earning crypto, and crypto is just a bonus around it, you know, that will be the next, or not the next necessarily, but that will be a 100x project easily. Hard thing is that they are competing against, you know, genuine game developers who have been spent years and years in the industry, and yeah, it's a difficult thing to do. So not DFK. If you haven't seen my Joel meme, go check it out. Hello Reg, how are you? Late to the stream. That's alright, mate. Yeah, so not DFK. Hilarious. I suppose we should look at Joel very quickly, just to laugh and just remind ourselves of what bag holding does to the brain. Oh, that's I was gonna say that was far too bullish for Joel. Ah, there we go. Oh, looking good, bruv. What are we thinking about this? Range reclaim? Let's go. But I mean, it went up so many multiples since most of the people that get the blame for it shilled it. So it's just a funny one because everyone kind of remembers it from a cyclical play. Good evening, Charles. Hello, Visualize Alpha. Were you reliving the Deal or No Deal meme? We certainly were. Rank game would be overkill, but the quality of crypto games are so bad. Yeah, they are. Reclaim back to $26. Let's go. That's it. We've seen some strength. Look at it. Look at this absolute beastly chart. But no, you're right. I mean, there's going to be some coins that are going to do very well. The difficulty that you've got now is that the dilution of these coins, is so big, so big. We've got so many coins to pick from that it is just, getting exponentially harder. What have we got? CoinGecko. Coins, 10,242. In a year's time, that'll be twice the amount. And I know that there's a lot more than that. Just from the fact that I'm in a couple of channels that monitor the minting of new projects, or new coins rather, and there's like 10,000 messages every single day. So, I mean, the other thing here is ETH. Like, I am not liking ETH at all. So contrary to BTC, ETH, and this is why I'm a little bit nervous and why I'm not deployed into spot alts, is this huge green level across here. Don't be fooled by the fact that it's green. It is basically the big level that I'm looking at in terms of pivotal points that the price has interacted with. And, resistance, rejection, support. A little bit clunky, but it's fine. And then we get this move, and now we've got this move kind of underneath it, this sort of 1680-ish level, right? For me, this here, underneath that, with failing to kind of show any form of strength up here, and basically just taking these stops with this wick, that is really not great. And like I said, if I wasn't out yesterday for lunch, I probably would have looked to pile in on a move down, because if ETH starts going, when you combine that with the confluence of ETH BTC looking like it wants to break down, that could be a very good trade. Not that I necessarily want to pre-position on the breakdown and the death of ETH, but I am BTC Charlie after all, and maybe at some point I should live up to the name. Am I on the different social platforms? So I'm on my own friend tech, I'm on YouTube, subscribe, like, comment, etc. That's it. I've got a TikTok account, but I've never done it. Yeah, I think I've got one follower. What would be a good game? Oh, that's the $1 million question, my friend. And if you could answer it, if you can answer it, go fucking build it. Because people will come. I mean, it's also, what's a good game to you? Like, I still like Counter-Strike. I like World of Warcraft. And I've liked those games for years, right? So it's difficult to just say, on an arbitrary basis, this is a good game. What's going to do well, in my opinion, it's something with lots of depth, and it's something which combines strategic thinking with good reactions and knowledge of the game, and that's what both CS and World of Warcraft offer me, and that's why I'm a lifelong player of both, right? So I mean, I'm not saying I'm great at either. I'm pretty good at CS, but not World of Warcraft. But yeah, that's kind of me, and that's what I would want from a game. But obviously, I'm not the global marketplace. New tokens, new as of launch this bear, greater than old tokens, 2021. I think I mean, that's a question that I get a lot, and that people, you know, I think should probably know the answer to by now, which, from my perspective, yes. If you are starting with a £10,000, $10,000 portfolio, like, there's no fucking way I would be trying to trade it unless I'm disciplined, unless I'm, trying to become a full-time trader and I want the discipline and that's what I want as a career and that's what I want to do for the rest of my life and so on and so forth. Like, most people genuinely, I'm saying it, as an educator in the space, with a paid group, what a horrible person, with ref links in my bio, etc. It's going to be very difficult if they're not your aspirations to make it trading, because you need the motivation. Most people want that 1000x, want that 100x on Pepe. We all do, don't get me wrong. I want to just yeet $10,000 into something like this at 300k market cap and then watch it run 1000x and go, oh great, that was a good trade, wasn't it? Happy days. There's 10 million in my back pocket for doing not a lot, but unless your strategy is to do that, and most people don't set out to do that, like, not find 1000x altcoins, right? A lot of people try and do that, but unless your strategy is, I'm going to take 10 grand, I'm going to find one altcoin that I've got massively high conviction on, and I'm going to hold it for 1000x. Like, unless that is literally your plan that you have written down, it's very unlikely you're going to do it. Very unlikely. So, yeah. For me, if you want a reasonably low effort approach to, another cycle, then yes, it's newer altcoins that are going to be the way for you, in my opinion. I think they will offer the most returns. There's so many reasons for it. Whether it's there's not as many bag holders, most people generally gravitate to new and shiny, and that's because of various reasons, right? It's because they think that I can make it using this new method that nobody, it's that, what was it, the kind of product, the hype, I think it's called the Garner hype cycle, which is like the product, speculatively becomes incredibly good here, and then it crashes down, you get this like return to normal, where actually it's probably found parity between the value it delivers and the speculative value of the product. I think crypto as a whole is probably somewhere around here, to be honest, having had the massive bubble in 2021. But new projects tend to go through this cycle. Like, even if you looked at Pepe on the, on Dex Screener or something like that, you'd see it had a little run, died off a bit, had another little run, died off a bit, and then had a run that just made absolutely everything else look like fucking nothing. And I think that's, that will happen with new projects far more often than it will happen with older projects. And also, new projects have those things as positive catalysts. So the top of Pepe was Binance listing. So, Binance listing as a catalyst put 20% on it straight away. Binance listing for Doge isn't going to happen. It's already on there. Doge has had that cycle element. Not to say the Doge can't run again, especially with the whole X narrative, but it's not looking good, bruv. What do you think? Well, the Frentech clones popping up on AVAX. Am I going to join? No, I can't be fucked. Frentech was the only one. Like, I've got no want or will to try and keep pushing into 100 different rooms. It's just fucking pointless. Extra thick level couldn't hold, or boy or boy. Exactly. Also, CS fan. Seems there's something new there. Yeah, there is. It takes discipline, youngins. Yeah, it does. Man, you're so late. That's right, mate. You can catch up on Twitch or YouTube. Yeah, it does take discipline, and it wasn't really a point around discipline. It was more a point around, I think, having a plan is genuinely the most kind of underrated thing for playing these markets. And like, I personally don't care if your plan is yeet 10k into shitcoins and go from there, right? Do it. You do you. That's great. That's absolutely great. If you want to spend every minute of the day trading rotational beta, great. Come join the Paragon. I'll fucking show you how to do it. But You know, a lot of people don't want to do that and don't want to necessarily develop that trading edge in career. And it's just about knowing you, knowing your goals, being honest with how much time you can dedicate to things. And you know, I know someone who basically does a ton of research for 3 months a year and puts some money in altcoins, comes back, and one of them is like 50, 100x up. And just takes money out of the market then. He's pretty good at what he does. Don't get me wrong. Very, very good. But yes. Make a plan, I suppose, is the point. You can make a profit, but the question is it worth it? Yeah, that's another way to look at it. You know, the time sacrifice of being a trader is quite a lot. You know, especially in conditions like this when it's not easy, you don't long something and then it's instantly up 20%, right? I'm not trying to put you off, I'm just trying to be realistic with people. Much to my own detriment, I presume. But yes, you know, when Doge breaks out of this shitty range here, we will all look back and go, wow, that was accumulation. Wonderful. But in the meantime, we've kind of got the death coaster going on of big move and gradually smaller moves. This one's a slight exception. I think there was some bullshit news there, wasn't there, that kind of pushed it over. But if you get that bouncing ball meme of altcoin momentum, I'm not saying trade that as a technical trading pattern, by the way, but it's pretty fucking evident that in terms of risk, it's reducing. I like doing that squiggle as well. Got to do that squiggle once a stream. Do I want to short Doge at these lows? Probably not. But will I pick up a bag of Doge in anticipation of another cycle at some point? Yeah, absolutely. I think it will be one of those things where even if it does get some traction, then it will be absolutely worth it. It is fucking mental looking back at it. When you look back at what it did. But how many people would have held it for, you know, a 300x at the peak, basically? Probably not many, unless that was their plan to do it. Right, any chart requests, questions, anything like that? While I spend a couple of minutes answering some questions from you lovely people. My plans really are, you know, there was Rune. Yes, there was Rune. So, we have had a pretty pivotal break on Rune in terms of this range and this, you know, very high time frame move. And this is a wonderful deviation. And bollocks, it sold off a bit because I was hoping to get on board that and use this as essentially a break to get short, and my validation would have been there. Wonderful. Oh dear. Okay, Sarah. That was what I wanted to what I wanted to talk about, because we were talking about like range breaks and like link and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, Rune, very high beta, but if there is a place to take a short, it's probably here. I might even eat some in, regardless. I can always sell it. I could probably make it sell off a few percent by myself, to be honest. Still got a pretty decent sized bag. Yes, please, would you chart fat? Yes, I can look at fat. I don't even think that's on my list. Oh, it is. On my AI list. Thankfully, I have this meme line, which I can just do that. Amazing. Let's see if this meme line was anything. Yeah, kind of structurally makes sense, doesn't it? Yeah, a bit janky. That's kind of where I'm drawn to in terms of pivotal levels. So I wouldn't be wanting to long this unless we had something like that, a little bit of positive market structure, get on board, stop under there, etc. You know, from a momentum perspective on a 4-hour basis, if we start moving up, there's kind of that confluence. Let's see what there is. Lower time frame. A very shit divergence across here. The reason it's shit is this. You know, if it was like that and grinding down, it would be a bit better. And if it was at an extreme, i.e. this was grinding down a bit faster, then it would be, and slowing down here, then it would be better again. But it's not too bad. I think I wouldn't want to be in a long at this moment in time. I would literally want to see some strength to get on board. There's nothing else, I don't think, from a price action perspective that would make me want to get, make me want to get in a position on it. Especially as it is just downtrending with, delete my list and start again, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, even here, like, you can start seeing that one, liquidity dog shit. We've actually got a pretty strong move on TRB, LDO, ECH is not doing anything, and FET is not doing anything. So for me, that's like just trash. You know, I'd rather be trying to get on board this than any form of kind of pullback like now, than I would be trying to preempt a breakout of this. I remember buying Doge for 0.04 and sold for 0.15. Yeah, I remember buying like 1% of the supplier's ship for like $2,000 or $5,000 or something. Selling it for fuck all. So everyone's got a more painful story. So cause of interest this week long rotation Tomo CFX with WLD. We'll continue into Dev Day on November 6th. Has W fallen off for me? Yes, it has. We kind of went over BTC plan. It's a little bit dead for me at the moment. With WLD, so we had a pretty decent crack at that before in terms of this and the market structure, essentially that wedge. For me, it's still holding this level here, just about. And again, it would be the same principle as FET, really. I would want to see some form of strength, even if it's like mean diagonal breaks with a bit of low time frame strength to get on board. So I don't want to just blind long unless there's a reason to, which I'm just flicking through, and there's no obvious signals in terms of any form of version. Nope. I'm getting desperate now, boys. Yeah, there's nothing particularly. Let's just see. The only confluence, I suppose, is there's kind of lost the 50. I need to get that 50 plotted on it, to be honest. From a daily perspective, we've not lost it. But equally, from a beta perspective, I haven't seen WLD do too well. I don't think it's even on here. It's in here somewhere, isn't it? Yeah, no. Tomo's a bitch to trade as well. I don't like trading Tomo particularly. RNDR. I haven't traded RNDR actually. Render. Yeah, one thing when you're talking about strength is that you can just see on the list a sea of red, and you can see some altcoins are green. It always makes me smile. Pretty low volume, but whatever. Yeah, I'm not going to be super bullish there. That doesn't look good, does it? Yeah, pretty simple SR to me. Can argue consolidating under resistance, but actually pretty strong parabolic move. strong parabolic move, low high, short, that, combined with high time frame resistance. I think that's a pretty reasonable short setup in the making. Obviously missed the initial there, but yeah. Thanks for your time. You're more than welcome, my friend. And yeah, WLD's fallen off. And, you know, in these conditions, I don't like to preempt. I don't like to preempt trades as much. I'm going to treat myself with a bit of chocolate. But when coins are in play, I will preempt positions. So what I mean by that, and let me just be very clear, is that when we have a range on TRB, like let's say, let's just delete all my nonsense on TRB. If you have the whole market is doing this, right? And one coin does this, yeah? And let's say that that coin is TRB. If this coin, TRB, whilst the market is stable, has a bit of a ranging period, what do you guys think the chances are of it breaking up instead of breaking down? So what percentage is this? We are so back. Stephanie Pay, distribution. So Issy Bitty 1521. When you say distribution, are you saying that you've got a 30% chance it breaks up, 70% chance it breaks down? I don't know, I automatically expect a bar after the summer. Rich says no clue. Fair. Any other takers while I just nail this last bit of chocolate? No? Really? No one? I supposedly like 70 odd viewers. Can we win something? Or maybe next time. Maybe next time. We'll do some odds. We'll do some channel points or something, or we'll do $1 million. I don't know. See how we feel. See what kind of market we're in. Down. I mean, so the way that I think of this is you have a high beta altcoin, and presuming it's done like reasonable numbers, and I'm not talking about like a 1% move, right? I'm not talking about like 1 or 2% rotation. If it's done like a 5 to 10% rotation, chances are it's going to end that consolidation, and it might do this, and it might, you know, wick to the downside, but chances are it's going to have a strong move up again at some point, partly because it's garnered attention, partly because it's strong, there are active bidders, you know, and generally, you know, I would weight it probably more like 70-30, right? That doesn't mean that it can't take you out of a position. It doesn't mean you won't have a couple of losing trades in this range. But when you catch the breakout, it more than makes up for it. So that's what I mean by I am happy to pre-position in effectively what looks like a range on a high time frame trending strong beta asset, you know, tick, than I am trying to do something like this without any form of relative strength at all, or relative weakness if you're obviously trying to short it. And that's what I mean by, you know, the confluence of a trade idea. Like, and that's why I use spaghetti so much and I bang on about it all the time. It's so good. Most people don't realise how good it is. Yes. That is when I'm happy to pre-position. And on that bombshell, we're at 8:15. 1 strong coins. Easy. Yeah. Channel points gambling sounds fun. More for upside. Can we win chocolate? Yeah. If you're willing to fully dox your address, or personally hand deliver you some baked beans and chocolate. Spaghetti's so good. Yum yum. Yeah, 100%. Oh, Sachi XBT has subscribed for 4 months. Whoa, I didn't see that. Where was that on my notifications? What a legend. Cheers, man. Love that. Get some subs and everything. Look, Mum, I'm famous. Yeah, we can definitely do a chocolate giveaway now. I've got some sub monies, boys. Cheers, Sachi. And apologies for missing it earlier. That is exceptionally rude of me. But yes, I think I will love you and leave you all. Thank you all for tuning into the stream. If you enjoy my content and want to support me, sign up to Bluefin using the ref link below. I genuinely think it's going to be worth it, particularly in these times where you'll be a much higher percentage of volume and you can get much higher rewards in terms of the blue tokens that are associated with it each epoch and released periodically based on your trading volume. Nothing has said as financial advice, obviously. Probably should have said that at the start of the stream. Whoops. Maybe I do a script for next week. And yeah, continue being the chance that you are. And I will see you on twitter.com, or X as it now is. So thank you all very much, and see you next week. Au revoir.
He's BTC Charlie with his linguini charting. He loses sometimes, but hardly. He's BTC Charlie. But now he's GBP Charlie. It doesn't matter what he's charting. His trading is tough, but it's not all that bad with Charlie. He's got memes in the morning and more in the evening. It's Charlie. And when trading gets hard and support starts to lean, search Charlie.